Seriously, Quentin? Flowers what you came up with? Hey, what's up out there, YouTube? Welcome back to the shop. It's Double D here with Fleur Dubois. So last week I did a Redbud vase. I'll put a link to that video right up here in the corner. That one is going to be used in conjunction with today's project for the YouTube cross-channel challenge of 2021 for the month of February. Quentin over at Deadwood Casting and Turning, I'll put a link to his channel right up here. He announced the challenge for the month of February. So February being the Valentine's Day love month, he went with flower. I don't know. It's a cool idea. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. So today we're going to be turning a piece of elm. I'm going to take this piece of elm, cut it down a little bit, and try, keyword try, to make a flower out of this in some way to go in that bud vase. I have some other little things that I'm working on that will go with it. We'll catch up with that a little bit later on as we go. And we will continue working through the process and go for the challenge. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into the project. I do want to give a shout out for a sticker swap. Thank you, Lindsay, with Front Porch Workshop out of North Carolina. She does, she's on Instagram. I'll put information to her, link to her info and Instagram right down below. She does a lot of woodworking on her front porch. She makes a lot of the cornhole game sets, things like that. Really good work, a lot of fun, and super nice lady. So go check her out and support her on Instagram and her social media as well. So that being said, we're going to hop right into the project and get it going. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock it between centers. I'm going to get a tenon turned on one end. I haven't decided which end yet. I'll get a tenon turned on it, and then we will get it in a chuck and go from there. Alright, so obviously I'm cutting this in a spindle orientation. So when you're cutting in spindle orientation, the tree's running this way, of course you want to cut from the highest points to the lowest points, and that way you're not cutting into the grain. So you'll see a lot of angle changes and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this chucked up and see where we go from there. I like to just use the tailstock as a little bit extra support when putting this on, the chuck on. So now I'll work on getting this into round and go from there with our flower shape. Okay, so now that we have it roughed around, what I want to do is I want to hollow this out just a little bit for the flower portion and then go from there. So in a spindle orientation, the best way to hollow is from the inside to the outside, so you're working down along the grains because the grains of the wood are all running this way. So working from the inside to the out is easier and gets a lot cleaner. what I'm doing is I'm putting this light inside, so when you can start seeing the light through the wood, I know how deep I am and how thin the walls are. So we will see where we go from here. Never done this before, so it's a learning experience. As you can see, the light's coming through pretty good, so we've got a good, about a little under 1/8 of an inch there. So one of the tricks I have learned to working through items like this that are super thin is you do sections at a time. So I'm now going to sand this flower portion and put a finish on it, and then we will start working on the narrowing down the stem. Okay, so we have that sanded up to 400 grit, really nice and smooth. So what I'm going to use is my Brad's sanding paste from Brad's Workbench. Definitely go check him out. His product, like I say, I will always recommend it. If you go over to his store and you use the coupon code Double D's a Better Turner, he will cut you a deal and give you 2 of these kits for the price of 3. 2 for the price of 3 is a deal that comes along only once in a while, and it's just a simple coupon code of Double D's a Better Turner. I crack myself up. So obviously that's not a real coupon code. Brad actually sells this stuff basically at cost. He doesn't make any, well, extremely little money off of these kits. So support him any way that you can. Just because he does some awesome work. He's got an awesome product. He's trying to get it out there. But yeah, he does not make much money at all on these kits. So I support him any way that I possibly can, and if that means pushing his product, then I will help push his product because it is a great product. Alright, so we've got our abrasive paste on, which is the equivalent of about 1500 grit. So now we'll put on some tongue wax. Tongue wax is the other part that comes in the kit, so you get the tongue wax and the abrasive paste. Now mine is thickened up just a little bit because of course it's been so cold here. But the nice thing is once you put it on, and then when you start buffing it in at the higher RPMs with the heat, the friction that builds up, then it just melts right into it. So we'll get this put on and let it set for a little bit, and then we will come back and do the rest of it. And we're back. It's time to buff off this tongue wax. And then I'll bring the tailstock back up with the tennis ball to support it while I cut down the stem. All right. I think that looks pretty nice. So we'll bring this light inside here, and I'll move the camera around just a little. That is really, really thin. I'm going to guess it's less than a 1/16 of an inch. Never done anything like this before. So, welcome along for my journey of firsts, like most of my projects. So like I said, what I'm doing is I'm going to put the tennis ball in here just as tail for some support. Because it is thin, of course, and I don't want it to flex too much or move around. So that'll help hold it steady while I do these cuts, and we'll do sections and go from there. So. Time to start sanding the next section. I will bring you back when I'm done with that. All right, so we have our abrasive paste on. I'm going to do this finish all at once because there's not a lot of pressure required on the finish, whereas there is on the sanding, the abrasive paste and stuff. So I'm going to keep cutting this down and we'll keep moving forward. Time to sand, abrasive paste, finish, and then we will cut that off. And then our tongue wax, then we'll get it taken off this base so that it'll be able to go into the base that we made last time. going to do some more items to go with the flower challenge. I have some birch and oak dowel rods, and then I have some rose pine cones. So these are pine cones that grow on that look like roses. So I'm going to use a couple of these. I'm going to paint them, stick them on the dowel rods, and then I have some other ideas as well to go along with that. So we'll probably end up with about 7 or 8 total flowers when we're done. Some of them being pine cones, of course, and then the one that we just turned on the lathe. So we will just get this started. We'll move around. I'll paint the stems green, paint the flowers a different color, and we will go from there. So let's see what happens. Then what I'll probably end up doing is put a clear enamel over it just to protect everything on the flowers. All right, so I've got those all painted. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottoms off of these pine cones and have these be another type of flower, of course. So I'll go chop those at the bandsaw real quick, and I will be right back. All right, so I got those cut off, and we will go from there. And to attach the flower heads, I'm going to use some Starbond medium CA glue. If you need any CA glue or are interested in trying out some Starbond, there is an affiliate link down below, as well as a coupon code that I'll flash up right here. And that coupon code is good for 10% off your purchase at Starbond. That is double D10. Like I said, that'll get you 10% off of your purchase at Starbond. Everybody, welcome back. Got the project done today, so that's a great thing. Once again, hashtag YTCCC2021 for the YouTube cross-channel challenge for the month of February. Done. Flower was the challenge by Quentin over at Deadwood Casting and Turning. So I, of course, turned this out of this little flower out of the elm. Obviously, you can see through it with the light. I'll just flip this back on so you can see how thin it is. It's pretty close to about a 1/16 of an inch thick on that. So really happy with how that turned out. I've never done anything like this, never done a flower, never done anything that thin either. So really happy with how it came out. And then again, we have the roses, 3 roses with rose pine cones. These grow naturally this way. And I painted them and then glued them onto the dowel rods. And then we have the other flowers that look kind of like zinnias or whatever, which are just pine cones that are cut and flipped over upside down. So what I'm going to be doing here is taking these flowers, I'm going to include them all, I'm going to put them all with the vase that we turned last week with the Redbud vase, and that is going to be my donation for the month to Shy 38. Shy 38 is a group out of Lawrence, Kansas, or right around in there, Lawrence, Tonganoxie area. And they are an animal rescue. So they have a lot of different animals that have been rescued and are sheltered there. They're like your farm animals, but they have all sorts. So there's sheep and pigs and things like that, but it's an animal rescue. And so they do a lot of really good things to help those animals out, which I appreciate, all forms of life. So definitely glad to be able to give back to them. They have a Facebook page. I'll put a link to that right down below, so you can go check them out. They usually have auctions throughout the year to raise things that are donated to raise money for their organization. So I'll be donating to that organization, and we'll have several of those throughout the year for them. So I'm going to support 3 organizations: the Make Zane Better, which we did for January, Shy 38, which is for February, and then the Topeka Zoo will be for March, and then we'll start over and go back to those organizations. So we're going to continue working with those groups 4 times each throughout the year. I will put up slow rollers, the pictures at the end of the final projects up close. So always appreciate you sticking around and watching those. If you liked the video and the project, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it that thumbs down. But either way, leave comments, leave feedback. I appreciate that as I am growing, of course, and I do answer and respond to every one of those. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't subscribed and this is your first time here, please consider doing so. Just click on the little red button down below that says subscribe, and then there's a bell icon there as well, which will send you notifications anytime I upload videos. I do try and upload them weekly. Of course, we all know life happens, but we will see what happens, but I'll continue going forward. So additionally, as a quick note, we have for the YouTube cross-channel challenge, we are now up to 43 channels that are participating, and that continues to grow. I am completely blown away and humbled. When I thought about the YouTube cross-channel challenge, came up with the idea back in December of last year, I was hoping to get 6 to 8 channels that would be willing to participate, and the turnout and support has been amazing, and it continues to grow. I love showcasing everybody's creativity through these projects, everybody's unique take on the same thing, and they appreciate your support and following along just to show the amazing work that they all do. There is a complete list of all the channels that are participating on my main page of my channel, and then I am creating playlists each and every month as well for those videos for that project. So please follow along, subscribe to all those channels as well. Support them, and we will continue moving forward with next month's challenge. That being said, Bruce over at Jordan Woodworks, I'll put a link to his channel right up here. He is announcing the challenge for the month of March. So if you're interested, hop over and check out that check out his channel, check out that video, and we'll see what happens next month and what we need to create. Catch you later.